Pikachu has earned more money than Star Wars, more than Harry Potter, more than every Marvel superhero movie combined. Pokémon is the highest-grossing entertainment franchise in the history of the world, over $90 billion and still climbing. It has out-earned Mickey Mouse himself. But here's the twist that runs through this entire story. Almost none of that money came from the thing everyone remembers, the video games. To see how a pocket monster conquered the planet, rewind to 1996. A small Japanese studio, Game Freak, and a shy designer named Satoshi Tajiri, who as a boy was obsessed with one hobby: catching bugs. He'd wander the countryside outside Tokyo collecting beetles, fascinated by finding creatures, comparing them, and trading them with friends. That feeling became a game. The pitch was simple: explore a world, find strange creatures hiding in the grass, catch them, train them, battle, and trade. He called them pocket monsters. Pokémon for short. It nearly never happened. Development crawled on for 6 long years. Game Freak ran out of money. Employees quit unpaid, and the studio survived only on loans from a patient partner named Nintendo. When it finally launched on the aging Game Boy, the industry had written that console off as dead. Nobody expected a quiet game about collecting critters to matter at all. Then came the decision that reveals the whole genius of Pokémon. They didn't release one game. They released 2, red and green, each missing creatures the other one had. To complete your collection, you physically could not do it alone. You had to find a friend with the other version and trade. Playing the game meant recruiting the next player. Gotta catch 'em all was never just a slogan. It was an engine. Scarcity, collection, and social trading, wired directly into the design of the product. It worked beyond anyone's dreams. Pokémon single-handedly revived the Game Boy and swept across Japan, then the world. But the people behind it saw something far bigger than a hit game. It also rescued Nintendo. Every new game sold a mountain of consoles, and every new console needed a new game. 2 giants, each pulling the other forward. A video game is just a product. You buy it once, you finish it, you move on. But a world containing 150 lovable creatures? That isn't a product, it's an inventory. So in 1998, the 3 owners, Nintendo, Game Freak, and Creatures, did something unusual. They formed a separate organization, the Pokémon Company, whose real job is not making games, it's guarding an idea. And they spread that idea across everything at once using a Japanese strategy called the media mix. Don't sell the customer one thing, surround them with the same characters from every direction. The very same year the anime arrived. A cartoon about a 10-year-old, his stubborn Pikachu, and a dream of becoming the greatest trainer alive. Now the creatures had faces and voices. This was the masterstroke. A weekly cartoon is really a weekly advertisement. One children begged to watch. It turned pixels into personalities and personalities into friends kids genuinely deeply loved. Because love is the fuel this machine runs on. You don't line up for a spreadsheet of monster statistics. You line up for Pikachu because somewhere along the way, he became yours. Then came the trading cards. The same creatures printed on cardboard. No console required, just artwork, rarity, and that same primal urge to collect, aimed with laser precision at every schoolyard on Earth. And now watch the gears lock together. The games invent the creatures. The anime makes you love them. The cards and toys let you own a piece of them. Each one sells the others. A child watches the show, so they buy the game. The game deepens the love, so they buy the cards. The cards get traded at school, which pulls in a new child, who turns on the show. This is a flywheel. A wheel that, once spinning, feeds its own momentum. Marketing that markets itself. And Pokémon has kept this particular wheel spinning for nearly 30 years. But we still haven't answered the real question. If the games were never the point, then where does $90 billion actually come from? Follow the money. Here's the answer that surprises almost everyone. Pokémon, at its core, is not a video game company. It is not even a cartoon studio. It is fundamentally a licensing company. Of that enormous pile of money, the single largest slice isn't games and isn't even cards. It's licensed merchandise. Toys, plush, clothing, backpacks, snacks, stationery. Every object a creature can be printed onto. And most of that merchandise the Pokémon Company never actually makes. It simply rents out the characters. Another company builds the toy, sells it, and pays a royalty for the right to use Pikachu. This is the quiet magic of owning intellectual property. A factory is expensive: machines, workers, materials. But a character once drawn can be lent out 1,000 times, and each loan is nearly pure profit. Think of every single creature as a tiny brand of its own. Pikachu alone is a face recognized by more children worldwide than almost any living human being. That recognition is worth a fortune, and Pokémon doesn't own one brand. It owns more than 1,000, a whole portfolio of characters, so that when one drifts out of fashion, another rises to take its place. The catalog itself is the asset. It's the logic of a landlord, not a factory. You build something valuable once, an apartment or an imaginary mouse, and then you collect rent on it year after year forever. The trading card game shows this model at its purest and strangest. More than 50 billion cards have been printed. That's enough to deal 7 cards to every single person alive on the planet. And the demand never stops, because a booster pack isn't really a pack of cards. It's a sealed lottery ticket. You're not paying for cardboard, you're paying for the thrill of the pull. That thrill grew into a gold rush. Rare cards began selling for the price of a car, then a house. Grown adults chasing the trophies they couldn't afford as kids turned childhood into an asset class. The card gold rush had a dark side too. Speculators and scalpers bought entire shelves to resell, and for a while, real fans couldn't find a single pack. Hype can poison the very love it feeds on. But a machine this valuable has a natural predator, and its name is the fad. History is a graveyard of crazes that flared up, sold millions, and then vanished almost overnight. Remember the wave of imitators? A dozen monster collecting games that copied the formula and are now completely forgotten. Being first gave Pokémon a head start, but a head start is not a moat. Rivals tried to copy the card game, a parade of challengers. Some thrived for a while, but none matched Pokémon's deep bench of 1,000 beloved characters and 30 years of trust. Because every franchise faces the same slow poison. Children grow up. Tastes change. What felt magical at 8 feels embarrassing at 15. Most toy empires get a single generation before they fade into memory. There was a real fear in the early days that Pokémon was exactly this: a bubble, a playground craze that would peak, deflate, and be gone within a few short years. Bad seasons came. There were moral panics, a card trading ban in some schools, and cooling sales. The flywheel could have ground to a halt like so many others before it. So the Pokémon Company learned to play a far longer game than any fad ever could. One measured not in seasons but in generations of human beings, handed down like a family heirloom. The first trick is renewal. Every few years, a new generation of games arrives, carrying a fresh batch of creatures for a fresh batch of children just discovering the world for the first time. New spin-offs keep testing new ground. Mobile apps, a sleep tracking game, a global esports arena, each one a fresh doorway back into the same beloved world. But the older fans never truly leave. And in 2016, the company found a way to reach straight into their pockets, using a force even stronger than novelty: pure, aching nostalgia. Pokémon GO poured the creatures into the real world through your phone's camera. Overnight, millions of grown adults were walking miles through their cities, staring at their screens, hunting a Pikachu on the corner. It made billions of dollars in record time, and it exposed the machine's secret weapon. The players weren't just kids, they were the very first generation, now grown, spending adult money on their childhood. This is the multi-generational loop, and it may be the most powerful force in the entire business. The child who loved Pokémon in 1999 is now a parent, buying card packs for a child of their own. One franchise handed from parent to child, at Christmas, on birthdays, at the store checkout. And every handoff winds the flywheel up again for another 20, 30, 40 years. Through all of it, the company guards one thing with obsessive care: the feeling. Every game, card, and cartoon has to stay warm, gentle, and safe. Because the real brand isn't the creatures, it's the trust. And they protect scarcity, refusing to flood the world so completely that the magic turns cheap. It's the same instinct that started with 2 game versions, now shielding a $90 billion empire. So step all the way back, and Pokémon stops looking like a game, or a cartoon, or a stack of cards. It starts to look like something else entirely. It looks like an economy conjured out of pure imagination. There is no oil here, no gold, no farmland. There is only an idea, carefully protected, endlessly rented, spinning enormous, tangible value out of very nearly nothing. And that might be the strangest lesson tucked inside a franchise built for children. In the modern world, the most valuable things a person can own are often things that only exist in the mind. A shy boy who loved catching beetles built a universe of pocket monsters. And almost by accident, one of the most powerful money-making machines humanity has ever created. Not bad for a little yellow mouse. So the next time you spot Pikachu, look closer. You're not seeing a cartoon, you're seeing an empire. This video is sponsored by MoatScope. Pokémon spent 30 years widening its moat, and everything we just covered, compounding quality at a fair price, is simple in theory. Actually finding those companies, that's the hard part. That's exactly what MoatScope is built for. It rates thousands of stocks on 2 things: how strong the moat is and how much you'd pay for it. Quality times valuation on one simple scorecard, so you can spot the widening moats actually trading at a fair price. Check out MoatScope at the link below and go find your next compounder.